I was getting this message that honestly, for the rest of your life, you're going to cry more happy tears than you've ever cried tears of sadness. Like, it's like for every tear that drops due to pain or betrayal or something or disappointment, like, you will cry 10 tears of joy. Okay? And I know that that could be sort of hard to conceptualize. Some of you may not believe me, that's okay. But I just like cuz like I'm about to tear up now or whatever, but like there's this very strong energy that you have no idea how happy you're about to be. Like, I think it's one thing to kind of trust and have faith that things will get better for you, but there's sort of like there have not been books that have been written or like movies, you know, or shows or anything. Like, you can't watch or perceive any of those things and truly like understand how much like bliss and joy you would feel going through similar like fairy tale-esque experiences, especially because they're going to be like specifically catered to you as a person. Okay, like, and you are unique. There's nobody like you. There's very particular nuances about yourself that like maybe you don't often think about. Okay, but it's sort of like, especially if you grew up in a situation where like you had to become attuned to know more about the people around you, and or for like survival's sake, as opposed to deeply deeply noticing little things about yourself, right? So it could just be that you were attracting connections in your life for the people. It's not even about them being thoughtful, because I don't think that those people are necessarily like naturally just overly giving in general. It's just something about the way that you are that like, I don't know, there's just something about the connection that cannot be put into words that like compels them naturally, almost like it's a divine duty for them to like, just like the way that they're wired in some way is going to seem so like specifically attuned to who you are that it will make you emotional in a way that I don't think that you can expect. And then obviously like the universe has been watching you all this time too, so it like knows little things that would make you happy or blissful, again, like on a deep, profound level, like an oddly specific level, is what it's giving, to where you're like, there won't be any room for you to doubt the fact that you were experiencing this like utopian, magical sort of life, because you will be in the midst of it. You know what I mean? It's almost like it will become more absurd for you to doubt the reality unfolding around you than it would be for, like, you know what I mean. It's something that like you're going to be living a daily life that people maybe your whole life told you was irrational to ever expect to happen to you, and it's going to happen to you and be sort of better than you even allowed yourself to imagine. Okay, it's almost giving that like you will just feel so much overwhelming gratitude and joy and bliss for your daily life that, again, you could just wake up crying every day, but like crying tears of joy. And it's like silly things like, I don't know, I think that I don't know, I think that you will be overwhelmed with how much beauty your life consists of, that you will just be very emotional about it, is all. um Especially, again, the materialization of things that you maybe, listen to subliminals for, or you envisioned while meditating, or you saw in a dream, or you know what I mean, you had on your vision board, or that you see on mood boards that pop up on your FYP, and you'd be like, oh my god, that's the actual dream reality. Like, things that you thought you wouldn't even have time for or the means to accomplish within this lifetime, like things that you relegated to, like, especially if you were religious in that way, it could be things that you're like, oh, when I'm in heaven I'll be able to experience this. Like, I'm getting that energy um of not believing, or just like not even thinking that experiencing things or this level of happiness was even possible on this plane of existence. And I guess I'll get into a little bit, but I keep getting that like, oh, I guess I was gonna say quantum immortality does have a like something to do with this. Like, I don't want to get into explaining it on too deep of a level, but there is this sense of a lot of this collective has genuinely in another reality, with the same, like, you look the same, technically your identity is the same, right? And you may perceive it all to be one linear lifetime, okay? But, it's like you could have, passed away or just like cease to exist in multiple like timelines, right? Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's sort of hard to explain, right? But it's the sense of like energetically shifting up in realms to where maybe there's a version of you that does still exist on that lower energetic threshold or whatever. But I'm getting that like those planes of existence are kind of getting like wiped. I don't know. Again, it's hard to explain. I think that there are certain timelines that are still, or like realities or whatever, um, that are still descending deeper into chaos, but it is giving the sense of like your vessel like doesn't exist there anymore. That's why I said that, the quantum immortality thing, to where by design in some way you like shift it up. And so I think that like our perception of what uh like you know what I mean? Like you're experiencing Earth and everything in reality as you always have, maybe, but you're technically on the vibration of what one would perceive as like nirvana or heaven, right? Right? But you like lack, you're like, you know what I mean? It's like you lack the awareness that anything changed. Like you could have just like went to sleep and woke up, or it could have even happened in the middle of the day. But I'm just like, this energy is very heavily and like densely giving you just like are not physically or energetically where you used to be. You have to think of it in terms of like planes of existence. I don't know how to explain it. Like, say in that old reality, you experiencing this life that's about to unfold for you, it's going to take the form of a literal utopia that's going to seem like, I'm telling you, it's going to feel like the way that, you know, people perceive heaven to be like, but you're going to experience this in real life. And I'm getting that you may be in this place where you can still observe, like it's giving the, so say for example you are still in a household with like maybe toxic parents or something like that, but it's giving that like their energy can't even affect you anymore, and maybe like the bad things that happen to them or something like that, or the misfortune that befalls them or whatever, it like doesn't energetically impact you, and like something is happening to where they almost, like you can be in the same space with them but you don't really exist to each other. It's similarly to how, you know, how there's like spirits everywhere, right? But people, not everybody's always perceiving those spirits. They're kind of just like chilling and doing whatever, right? But technically the realities are all like layered on top of one another. This message is getting like super spiritual, okay? But so like, obviously they're just like roaming around, like the, again, it's like all layered on top of each other, right? So it's sort of, you know, you may be in the same space as those people who are not elevating to their like utopian reality or whatever, but something about their energy just like doesn't, it's like it just like cannot cross a certain threshold. Like they lack the energy. There's almost like there is a veil now between you and people that you can still like physically see, okay? It's weird, okay? And that'll resonate for who it resonates with, but that's just the way that it is. So you've broken through the other side, whatever that means to you, like, um you can chill now, right? Like the illusions of the old reality that was kind of like trying to convince you that the harder you worked, the better and more worthy you were, that's like fading away, right? um I'm getting that masculines, you're like having epiphanies in regards to ideas and allowing yourself to be lucky and like encountering situations where you're going to be the boss, and more like, and being able to chill and not overwork yourself. And feminines are being able to rest in like soft lives where they are genuinely getting paid to exist, okay? um and just like chilling and enjoying everything that you worked for, okay?